Manga Shake here yet again with another Big Power Electric Blaster review. This is the final one at this point in time, and I'm going to do a whole brand overview with little mini tidbits on each blaster, but we're going to take a look at the 527 this time. Now this is one of their biggest blasters, and it features the same counter-rotating drums as my last review of the 503. Now this one is a large blaster, but again, it features that kind of double trouble-esque double drum design. Now, the 527 is kind of an unusual one again. It does not have a rev trigger. Instead, it has just a simple on and off switch that you see right here in front of my pointer, right there. And it has the same exact opening ability. You slide this little tab back, and you can open up the whole blaster and swap drums, or just make it easier to load. That's how I was loading it. A little bit easier because you can't really get to the center of the two drums unless it is open. But all in all, basically a upscaled version of the 503. And whether that's good or bad is personal perspective and personal opinion. But it has a odd profile. Now, I'm going to touch on that right away because the moment you have to put this one together again, it has a large Phillips screw right here. That when it comes in the box, the two halves are apart. You clip in the wire harness together, and then you put the one Phillips screw in. It is included. They actually include a spare even. So again, all in all, Big Power Electric's doing a good job of including a lot with their blasters. This one does not have any rails. It does not come with any accessories. It does have the included 6 AA's, which are over here on the left-hand side, as have been the case with each and every one of their blasters. It includes the 6 AA's, includes 100 of their darts, and it includes 3 of the targets packaged up. I've got so many of these things now that I don't know what to do with them. And it does include the same eye protection that each of the blasters has came with. But focusing on the blaster, it is a semi-auto, always on, with a switch. It's always on operation, as I call it. And it has a 20 round capacity, which is now feeling a little low compared to what else is on the market, including Big Power Electric's own offerings, that they have the larger offerings of 30 round drums. And if I had to choose a 30 round single drum over a 20 round capacity in 2 counter rotating 10 round drums, I'm gonna take the single drum, because normally that's a more efficient design. The only reason that you do that is to keep this slimmer, which this does make it slim, but now you have a drum sticking out on both sides. Neither side is flat. Same argument I use with the Mosby Barbarian versus the Sidewinder. I actually like the Sidewinder better because even though it's a 30 round drum, it's on one side and it makes one side very slim. This, I don't think the slimness is what you're talking about because the blaster is huge. But it's in a weird way. That's why I wanted to talk about the proportions here early on. The overall length of the blaster is big enough it's hard to keep on frame, with me standing 8 feet away from the camera. And the only issue I take with that, I don't mind a big blaster. It makes you feel like you're actually holding a full-size item. But the problem is that so much of the size of this is devoted to the front part of the blaster that the rear is basically the same as the 503. I mean, from here back, it's a 503, just with a lot of extra plastic up front, which means it feels very compact back here. It really does. Just like the 503, which is fine. Some people are going to want a small, compact blaster. But the issue with that is you're waving around this whole huge front section. And there's nothing to it other than additional barrel length, which does cause an issue when it goes to the chronograph. Because my 503 was averaging about 74.5 feet per second. This actually has lost up to 5 feet per second. I'm averaging 69.5 with this. And I did that with a variety of darts. I don't use their included darts because they will drop the performance even further. And I've already touched on this in all of my reviews. But it's the same exact operation. You turn it on, let it rev, and then fire. And then back off again. Now, again, just like the 503, I didn't have any hiccups. The system works very well. the extra barrel length was causing some of the shots to drop down, which pulled the average down. Because if they contact, because the barrel is not very large. You know, it's not like, say, a Busby Snipe barrel, which has no effect on the dart whatsoever. The Busby Snipe barrel is huge. And that's, you know, by design. Just like the now Busby Exterminator, which took over for the Tactical Storm. Those barrels Busby made to be very large. So you have the look of a barrel, but in no way, shape, or form is a dart ever going to contact that. And that's why it doesn't interfere with the performance. This is much more like a Nerf barrel, which will, if you've got a retaliator attachment on the front of any of your blasters, you know, darts will impact that. And this is the same way. So it dropped it down from a 74.5 feet per second average down to a 69.5 for me. And that's after running plenty of darts through to get a good, consistent average. And it's just that much extra barrel length with that small of a diameter, because that's only about the size of a finger. So that's too small for the darts. You know, they will bounce around and then, you know, drop velocity. So I haven't even mentioned the price yet. This one's coming in at $55.99. So again, high priced. And Big Power Electric so far, my enthusiasm for them was, you know, the value combined with the good solid quality, because these do feel quality. They feel at least as good. I'm going to put them on par with X-Shot, which is a known name brand, and it's definitely on par with a lot of Nerf's recent offerings, if not better than on some of them, and even close to some of Dart Zone's, and equivalent to Busby overall, because Busby has, you know, they have different levels. You know, the Rebel Mech was rock solid, whereas something like the Battle Blazer that I love the Battle Blazers, but they do feel a little lighter on the plastic. This is somewhere in the middle, equivalent to X-Shot and Busby for the most part, and feels better than some Nerf Elite 2.0, and getting close to some of the better Dart Zone, but not quite up there with, like, say, the Pro Series or Nerf Rival. But that's been one of the best things about these, is the quality, the ergonomics, and solid enough performance at a good value. This, unfortunately, these last three that I've tested, unfortunately, they've lost the value part. At $50 to $60 is what the last three had been, and this one's at $56 basically, $55.99. That is the current price at the time of this recording. Now, Big Power Electric has been pretty proactive. They will take feedback and they will adjust things accordingly, and I'd hope that they would drop this by about at least $10. It should be. This really shouldn't be over a $40 blaster. It really shouldn't. It only has a 20 round capacity in a semi-auto format. This is not full auto. None of their products are, even though a couple of them had automatic in the wording of their description. But semi-auto blasters that have, and especially with these, again, I touched on the switch. Having an on-off switch is not necessarily a big issue. Some people do prefer it. But it's a cheaper way to do something. And they're putting this on the premium product for them. Their highest priced three blasters, and this is the second highest priced one in their whole line currently. And it only has 20 round capacity. It's a semi-auto function with a on and off switch. I don't think that that's providing good value. It still has the quality, still has everything else going for it. But the performance isn't even a boost over Nerf or anything else. I mean, considering if you're looking for a flywheeler that's drum fed, Busby has the Adventure Force Alpha Auto 72. That thing blows these out of the water, and does so at less cost. And that's what you have to do as a reviewer. You look and compare. Standalone, it's a solid blaster. Taking the price into account, it's not a good value. And there's better options on the market. So unfortunately, this is another do not recommend for me on the last of the couple of Big Power Electric blasters. I've got the last three are something I'd pass on. They're the highest price out of their line, and they don't really offer anything over what's out there on the market, even compared to their own. And even sticking with Big Power Electric's own line, I would take the 505 over it 100% of the time. It is a solid blaster with a rev trigger and a 30 round capacity in a single drum that gave me no issues during all my testing, and I've actually still been running this. It's a fun blaster. It looks nice, sharp, good ergonomics, and at a lower price. So higher capacity, rev trigger, lower price, in a good blaster that actually had higher performance as well. So the 527 is just in a weird spot, and so was each of the last 3 that I've reviewed from them, because I would pick this over all 3. That's just me, but they beat themselves with another product in their own line. Because the 505 is by far one of my favorite big power electric blasters. So I would pick it over the 527 easily. So that would be my recommendation. To not pick up this one until maybe they make some alterations. I'd love to see them make it be a full auto. Make it have, I don't care if it only had the 20 round capacity, switch it to full auto. Then you've got yourself a flagship blaster. But as is, the 505 is the best option out of all big power electric drum fed blasters. And I would recommend you check that out. Link will be in the description to this, as well as I will do my best to remember to put a 505 link in there as well. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, even though it's kind of an odd review. But it's Smoker's Jake saying thanks for watching.